know me from the farmer's market. Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Me. This week our featured vegetable is going to be cauliflower. So I have a beautiful small yellow cauliflower here with me. For this recipe you can use any type of cauliflower color that you might have at hand. So if you have a yellow, a purple, a white, a green, you're welcome to use it, whichever cauliflower you have. We are gonna have them at the farmer's market this weekend, so make sure you stop by and grab one so you can try this recipe. So, what is this recipe called, you may ask? Well, this is called Cauliflower Lampreada. That's what it's called in Spanish, but in English, it's I'm gonna kind of translate it, which is kind of like folded in cauliflower, I believe. Honestly, I'm not 100% on the name in English, but if you know, definitely leave us a comment and and inform us, you know, what exactly it's called in English, because I've never heard it before in English. Okay, so let's get started. So what we want to do first is actually clean our cauliflower. So at the farmer's market, you usually give the cauliflowers with a little bit of leaves. This actually protects the cauliflower a little bit. If you're gonna maintain it for a couple of days in the refrigerator, just make sure you're covering it. The leaves are covering it like so, and then you put it in a bag, or if you don't use bags, just make sure this is protecting it from the hot air whenever you opened your refrigerator, and it should maintain for a couple of weeks. So for this, we're gonna clean it out, and we're gonna put this aside. So the following step is very important. So what we want to do is get a decent size florets, because we don't want them really small and we don't want them really big, because if you make them really big, they might not cook fast, or they might not cook at the same time as the other ones. So you want to have them a little bit uniform. If they're slightly bigger, it doesn't matter, you know. So we're gonna cut them here. So my florets that I want are about this size. I think this size is a little bit in the smaller size, but for this specific, because since I'm not making a lot of them right now, I'm using a small cauliflower, I think this is a good size. So we're gonna go ahead and cut them, make sure that they're all about the same size, and we're gonna get started right after. So here we have. Now here I have my florets that are already cleaned, they're washed, and they're ready to be used. So I have here 8 florets from my small cauliflower. This is a really good amount. You have about 4 portions here, depending how many you want to eat. These are a little bit addictive, so I would say either 2 portions or 4 portions, depending on how much you're gonna eat. But as you can see here, my florets, they're about this size, so they're pretty medium size, so they're not very large. Okay, so after we have them, let's move to our next step. So our next step is going to be to prepare our egg. We're going to do this by separating the egg whites from the egg yolks. For my size of cauliflower, I'm just going to be using 2 eggs, and that should be enough. Let's get started. Egg whites and our egg yolks separated, we're going to create a fluffy cloud by beating the egg whites to consistency where you see the peaks. So let's get started. Start beating it in slow and then go to medium, and after that go to high. Usually that's what I do, so my egg whites come out pretty good. But it all depends on how you do them. If you've done this before, go ahead and do whatever makes white peaks. you can see right here, my egg whites are pretty stiff now. So after I have this, I'm gonna be putting the yellow yolks into the egg whites. And we're gonna continue mixing it. So while I'm mixing the egg here, make sure you get your oil started. You just want a thin layer of oil on the bottom. That's how I do it, but if you want to deep fry them, you're welcome to do that. I just don't like using a lot of oil with this recipe because it can become very oily really fast. So you want to always continue mixing your egg whites because you don't want them to disinflate and just become kind of watery. So as soon as you have your egg good consistency and your oil is hot, you want to start really quickly covering your florets. So after you have your egg whites, your egg mixture, you want to start putting in your florets into your oil, and make sure you cover them very well, and they should come out like this as a fluffy yellow cloud. And we want to put them in your oil. Once your florets are ready and they're nice and golden on both sides, you want to take them out and you put them into a saucepan that you're going to be using to finish cooking them in. So you just want to make sure that they're golden brown on both sides, and you transfer them out. Now here we have our last florets. So this is how they're supposed to look. They're supposed to be a little bit brown, golden brown on both sides. And we're gonna put it into our saucepan and we're gonna get ready to make our tomato sauce that's gonna go and finish cooking with the cauliflower. Here I have three tomatoes. I'm gonna cut them in fourths. And we're gonna put them in our blender. Since I'm using the little blender here, I'm gonna go ahead and blend this real quick, and then we're gonna add our other ingredients. So here I have the mixture. So I just, mixed it a little bit so I can have more space to put our other ingredients in. I'm gonna be using 1/4 of a small onion, and I'm gonna be using two small garlic cloves. Then after that, I'm gonna be adding a little bit of salt, just like a pinch or two. Really depends on how much tomato you're putting there. I'm gonna put a little bit of pepper. Just a little bit. You don't have to add pepper, but I put pepper in everything. So, and we're gonna blend it. After you have created your tomato sauce, which is just tomato, garlic, and onion, and a little bit of salt to your taste, we're gonna be adding it into our cauliflower. After you have put your tomato into the cauliflower, make sure you turn on your stove, of course, and mix it around a little bit. And I'm gonna show you right now how it should look. and we're just gonna cover it and let it cook for a while. So here we have our cauliflower that is cooking. So right now it started to simmer, and we're just gonna let it simmer for a couple of minutes, and then we're gonna check them with a fork and see if they are soft. Once they're a little bit soft like potatoes, that means that they're ready, and you can take them out and you can eat. And our cauliflower should be ready now. I just checked, and they are a little bit soft. So when you're cooking them, make sure that they're a little bit in the soft, not super soft or super hard. They're kind of at the right consistency that you like. Of course, if you want them a little bit in the overcooked side, you can definitely do that. I actually don't like them like that. I like them to have a little bit more texture and to hold a little bit more the cauliflower. So it really depends on you, but after 5 minutes you can start checking them. 5 to 10 minutes they should be done. So they cook really fast, especially if you cover them. So now what we're gonna do is go ahead and plate them, and we're gonna go and taste this delicious cauliflower. So let's do this. Now that we have our cauliflowers ready, we're gonna go ahead and plate them. So I'm gonna plate them with plain white rice that I have made here. And on top of the rice, I'm gonna be putting the cauliflowers, and this is one of my favorite things to eat, actually. So I have here some basmati rice that I cooked earlier today. Just gonna get a good small layer on the bottom. So usually when I have this type of cauliflower, I like making a rice that has a lot of vegetables, but today the featured vegetable as it is not the rice, it's the cauliflower. So I have here a small layer of rice, and we're gonna go ahead and put in 1 or 2, maybe 3 cauliflowers. So this is how they look. They are really nice and delicious. We put another one, and it's a little bit in the smaller side. So after you have plated, I've got here 3 really delicious looking cauliflowers, as you can see here. I have here, so we're gonna taste it and see how it tastes. Actually, this is one of my favorite recipes to eat with cauliflower. So let's go ahead and have a taste. It's really good. Well, I did make this with plain white rice. The tomato sauce, well, it's not really, you know, a whole range of flavors. It's just tomato, garlic, and onion. It has a really good flavor with a little bit of salt, and it's just really good. It complements very well the rice that we have. Really highly encourage you to try it if you're making. This can be a really nice vegetarian dish. If you want to convert it to a vegan recipe, you can definitely do that by omitting the egg and substituting that by covering your cauliflower in something else. So just try it out, and I'll guarantee you're gonna like this recipe a lot. Excuse me, I'm like chewing. So this completes the recipe for today. make sure you give it a try and send us pictures, leave us a comment, and definitely subscribe so you can get a weekly notifications of our recipes. So stay tuned for next week as we make another delicious recipe that with vegetables or produce from our garden. So stay tuned and see you next week.